747, welcome back. Dr. Paul is here, the CEO and Medical Officer of Health, Eastern Ontario Health Unit. Good to see you. How are you?
Good, good.
Good. We're going to talk about a couple of things today. One of them is food safety.
Sure.
You know what? It's especially relevant in all this heat.
Exactly.
I don't know how people eat outside when it's like this, but a lot of people do with picnics and barbecues.
That's right. You know, food poisoning probably affects over 2 million Canadians a year.
Yeah.
And probably that's an underestimation because most people don't know that they've had it.
Yeah, they just think they have an upset stomach.
And most get it at home. 70% of all food poisoning is at home. And we see a peak, and we do the monitoring, we see a peak during the summer months. Probably because people eat outside, they don't wash their hands, the food stays out longer than it should, and it spoils quicker.
Right.
And so I think it's a good time, especially with the weather now, people eating outside.
Is it mostly, that food poisoning sort of thing, is that mostly the result of leaving food out too long and certain types of foods?
Yeah.
I know it's the time of year when cold salads are what you want,
Exactly.
right? But mayonnaise
That's
and eggs
right.
and things like that?
There are the hazardous foods, which are egg products, fish, poultry, and meats. Those are the ones that are the most dangerous ones. So if you can sort of stay away from those when you're eating outside on a picnic, it would be a good idea. If you're going to have meats, thaw them in your fridge, because a lot of people thaw them outside. Thaw them in your fridge. Make sure that when you put them in a container in the freezer can maintain the temperature to at least 4 degrees. A good idea to use ice packs rather than ice chips themselves. Because what happens is if you have ice chips, they will actually melt, and that'll drain and contaminate. The juices may contaminate other things. Separate your food that's potentially dangerous. So if you've got hamburger meat or chicken, separate in bags and put it really separately. Put it at the bottom of your freezer, your portable freezer, and put your your sort of non-hazardous foods on top. Another good idea really is to be able to separate your drinks from your food.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, because what happens is people often open the drink container a lot. So if you've got the drinks and the food in there, you're actually going to be melting it quicker.
I think that the problem exists that, foods and depending on their meats or salads or whatever, at this time of year, they turn quickly. Like
they do.
Doesn't take as long as
you might think. It doesn't take as long.
think.
We say 2 hours outside, but if it's very hot, it's going to be much quicker than that. So what we recommend is, first of all, wash your hands. If you can't wash your hands, if you're in a picnic somewhere, make sure you have a hand sanitizer.
Well, yeah,
everybody has that before and after you touch the meals. When you're cooking meat, for example, barbecuing hamburgers, for example, you want to make sure they're cooked to the appropriate temperature. And also what people tend to do is they tend to use the same plate. They have the raw food, they take it and put it back on. You shouldn't be doing that because you're recontaminating. Never use the same utensils that you've prepared meat with or other hazardous products for salads and those type of things.
Right.
And go for salads, go for things like that are canned, that are less dangerous when you're going out there. But the most important thing really is to be able to wash your hands and make sure that you're separating these meats, the meats from the potentially contaminating others.
What should people be looking for if food poisoning is an issue? Like obviously an upset stomach is number one.
Well, there's some non-specific upset stomach, stomach cramps, diarrhea, vomiting, sometimes headache, sometimes a bit of fever. And the question that I get a lot is, can it happen right away, or how long does it take? It can happen within a few hours of ingesting the food, depending what food you eat and what bacteria or virus you ingest.
Right.
Or it can happen within a couple of days.
Yeah.
And sometimes if it happens within a couple of days, you can't really tie it down to a food, and that's why we underestimate the rates of food poisoning.
Gotcha.
People think it's a gastro.
One other thing you wanted to point out was, if you're out at a barbecue or doing whatever and there's swimming involved or activities in the water, we're seeing way too many accidents in the water.
Too many accidents in the water, not unexpected because people are swimming a lot. Obviously, it's very hot. All I tell parents is with young kids, and toddlers have died. Actually, 3 or 4 died within a 24-hour period in Quebec, and a couple in Ontario recently. Make sure that you're always watching them. And that's the number one trick. Whether they've had swimming lessons or not, whether they have a life jacket or not, make sure that somebody's always watching them.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Paul is the CEO and Medical Officer of Health of Eastern Ontario Health Unit. Good advice today.